Thank you for tuning in to Veterans Voices. I'm your host, Elena Kim, and my co-host is Buck Carmichael. Today, we'll be talking about Veterans Treatment Court. Our guests are Marine Corps veteran Ron Self, who is also the founder and executive director of Veterans Healing Veterans, and James Lyons of the Contra Costa Veterans Service Office. Welcome. Ron, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the Veterans Treatment Court?
Yeah, I'm what you call a justice-involved veteran with a lived experience. That's the term on the Hill these days. I spent 10 years in the Marine Corps, 23 years in prison, where I created the Veterans Healing Veterans program. It became the first program in California prison system history where an inmate created a program and then received funding for application while still in prison. I then paroled, went to Washington, D.C., was asked to be a commissioner on the Veterans Justice Commission to address the needs of the over 200,000 veterans incarcerated in county, federal, and state prisons nationally, and more recently working with the San Francisco Veterans Court.
Wow.
Veterans treatment, yeah, so that's the short version.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the short version of that story. Yeah. Amazing.
And with us, we also have James Lyons, a familiar face, works for Contra Costa County Veterans Service Office with me, also provides outreach specialties, which includes Veterans Treatment Court. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in the court.
Well, good to go. So a bit about me. I'm from Richmond, California. I joined the Marine Corps in 2004 and served until 2009. After that, I came home, went to Contra Costa College, went to UC Berkeley, in which I graduated in 2014. Started working for the county at the Board of Supervisors, and a little more than 3.5 years ago, started working here in the Veterans Service Office. And so I serve as our outreach coordinator. Veterans Treatment Court is one of the places that I have the opportunity to go to and help assist veterans and their families accessing state and federal benefits. I have a great pleasure of working with you. Okay.
Excellent, awesome.
Nice.
Well, let's jump into our topic today, guys. And these questions are really for anyone to hop in there. And I want to start super basic here for our viewers. What is Veterans Treatment Court?
Why'd you field that one?
Sounds good. Veterans Treatment Court is a pre-trial diversion program. So it's an opportunity for veterans who interact with the justice system to participate in a diversion program that could possibly result in the dismissal of charges, the waiving of any restitution or fines. So it gives an alternative path for having veterans
Go through that system.
Go through the system.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a great second chance.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, to kind of just turn the page on a potential thing that's going to potentially stop you from jobs, employment, all sorts of things, to be able to do something to make that go away.
And a second chance a lot of veterans don't know too much about.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Most don't know they're eligible.
Which is why today's episode is so important. We definitely want to be involved in informing the public, and particularly the veterans in the public, that there may be an opportunity for you to get some additional assistance should you encounter the justice system.
Now, are there certain requirements for veterans in order to
Well, what
be
is
part
a
of this?
veteran, right? We were talking earlier, and you have to, I think for the purpose of this path, they have to determine what is a veteran. We were talking about there. You want to explain?
And so a veteran with a DD-214, if you have military service and you received a DD-214, you should consider participation in the program if you find yourself in need of this pretrial program.
And why does, I guess, if I'm a veteran, first off, you know, when you do come into contact with the justice system, it's not the best day of your life, right?
Nope.
Why is it important or advantageous for a veteran to know about this option? Does it benefit them in some way?
Well, as we previously stated, it could make this charge completely go away. It's like a do-over. You know, at your sketcher where you shake it and draw a new picture. Well, I mean, that's about the simplest way I could think of. It's advantageous to take advantage of something that's going to give you more than a second chance. It's making this go away. And you just have to commit to it like you did the military.
Absolutely. Participation in the program includes mental health services, substance abuse treatment. There are opportunities for you to heal as you're going through the program, and I believe that's part of the intent. It's definitely to make your charges go away, but it's also to help you through that process so you don't have to come back. The idea is that you participate in the program once, and there's no need for you to interact with the Veterans Treatment Court again. We do not
That's the goal, yeah.
want our veterans having to come back and interact with the justice system again after participating and graduating from Veterans Treatment Court.
And something else has come out of it that I noticed, a theme as of late with several guys that I've been working with. What I've heard many of them say is that since they left the military, it's the first sense of community and camaraderie because they're with other veterans. And we take them and go do things. We go to Antioch Airsoft Place and we go jet skiing, boating. But more to the point, it's getting these guys that are coming from all different places together, just like you did in the military. And now they can talk to each other about their similar experiences and how they ended up here, just like they did in the military. So I found that the mentorship aspect of it and the reaching back and helping bring the next guy forward. So we have graduates that do just that. They stay with the program and they're helping the next guy come along.
Yeah.
So it's camaraderie, which speaks to more mental health, which also speaks to the greater need for veterans is the mental health aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So I was curious, you mentioned that if you're a veteran, you have your DD-214. Well, if you commit a crime, then are you automatically in the program, or?
Good question.
Good question. So it's an opt-in program, right? You have to know that it exists. You have to communicate that to your public defender or private attorney, and then you have to reach out to the program in order to participate.
Okay.
And it's not just you reaching out. Your public defender, your lawyer, the prosecutor, and the judge all have to agree that your crime is eligible to go to the Veterans Treatment Court. Not every crime is. Just because you're a veteran, I mean, if you have a 187, a murder, you're probably not going to Veterans Court. Again, a program that's meant to be a diversionary to make it go away, give you a fresh start. It's becoming more and more liberal as to who is allowed in these days, and I think that's important. It should be.
Agreed.
But I think that's a really important distinction that we want to make to veterans to understand that it is very much a decision between you and this group of people. And so what is like a key message, a key takeaway that you want veterans to understand about the program?
That if you interact with the justice system, I can't tell you right now that you're eligible or that you won't be admitted, but you should ask. You should find out. Use the resources. Use your attorney to reach out to the program. Use this episode as a reference point to gather information should you find yourself in a position where you need these services, or if you meet another veteran that may need this information and assistance. Please use this information as an opportunity to spread this message to veterans who may not know about it. We definitely would like to get the word out.
And there's another aspect. We were talking earlier about an assembly bill. I think it's 11209. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. But the intent behind the assembly bill was that if you can demonstrate that you had a diagnosis of PST during the time, PTSD at the time of your crime. Did I say something different? Yeah, so go figure. See, there it is. That if you can demonstrate that connection, it allows you to be sentenced differently. So if you're already in the prison system, you come back for resentencing. Now let's say you're a veteran that doesn't qualify for the Veterans Treatment Court, but you do have a diagnosis of PTSD, the judge can appropriately sentence you based on that still. So while you may not be able to go into the VTC, Veterans Treatment Court, you can get sentenced appropriately based on the diagnosis. So just acknowledging and letting them know, hey, I'm a veteran, I do have a service connection of X, Y, and Z, and can you help me?
Now, in that case, you say letting them know. In this case, you've already been sentenced, but your PTSD was not considered the first time around.
Right.
Who is them? Who are you letting them know?
At this point in time, if you're not eligible for Veterans Treatment Court, it's important to let your lawyer, the prosecution, and the judge know that, hey, I do have a diagnosis of PTSD. I realize I'm not eligible because of my crime for Veterans Treatment Court, but can we take that into consideration for sentencing on this crime that I'm here for? Now, it's not a pass, nor should you get a pass. I did something, I was trying to help someone, but how I did it was completely inappropriate, and I deserved every minute of the 23 years I was in prison. I own that. That was my choice. And for every other veteran, you also have to admit and own your decisions. We're not victims. We made choices.
So I think that's a part of the beginning of this system is in order even to be a part of Veterans Treatment Court, you do have to enter in a guilty plea, correct?
Yep. So
Yeah. Good.
okay. So some of that is outlined in information that we hope that veterans will go and read on the Contra Costa County Superior Court Collaborative Justice website. There's information about participation, and we'll outline which offenses are excluded from participation. It'll also provide information for the veteran and their attorney, who they should really be reviewing this information with, to help isolate how, if they're eligible, how they can participate. And I forgot the question. Go ahead.
You're good. No, it's good.
About the eligibility again. Ron, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you work with a ton of veterans and you've got those stories that can be truly inspiring. I mean, your story is extremely inspiring. What's your favorite story? And we don't need names, right? But your favorite story of a veteran that you've come into contact with who went through Veterans Treatment Court and had success.
Yeah, I can't say his name, but we're actually working with someone out of the San Francisco Veterans Court that graduated the program, and then he expressed a really deep interest in doing what I do. So we put him through facilitator training, mentorship training, and he assists us with current people that are coming through the program. He shows up to say, hey, look, I've been where you were at a year ago, and I just followed the maps that they gave me, and here I am now.
Amazing.
So, I mean, he did it. He got his record expunged, and now he's giving back.
Yeah. I mean, that's really where you want to be. Yeah.
And so a lot of our successes, and by our, I mean the County Veteran Service Office, our successes come in the form of veterans who are either not service connected and getting them service connected for injuries that relate to their service, or they're already service connected and maybe there's an increase in rating that they're due. Oftentimes veterans don't know how to file for claims and what benefits are out there. Who can help me apply? Well, that's where the Contra Costa County Veteran Service Office comes in. We're going to educate and advise veterans, their families, on state and federal benefits that they may be eligible for. So I'm there at every single meeting that I can be at. With that in mind, we want to make sure that while veterans are going through Veterans Treatment Court, that they are accessing all of their benefits that they're eligible for. And
Thank you, James.
We can help with applying as well.
Excellent. Thank you. We want to take a brief break, but when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Veterans Treatment Court.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm calling. It's just...
I'm having nightmares.
My husband and I, we're just fighting a lot.
I can't get any sleep.
Things just keep getting worse, and it's starting to feel like I can't do this by myself anymore.
We could use some help figuring things out.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you called. Why don't you tell me more about what's going on? There's no wrong reason to reach out for crisis support. Whatever you're going through, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help. Visit veteranscrisisline.net to learn more.
Welcome back to Veterans Voices. We're talking about Veterans Treatment Court. So, Ron, before we went to break, we were talking about sort of eligibility for Veterans Treatment Court, and I really like the point that, whether or not you are eligible, it's still important to talk to your team about, that you are a veteran, let folks know, and especially if you have some type of mental health diagnosis related to...
There are people that think because they have an OTH or a bad conduct discharge that they're not eligible, so they don't even ask.
Yeah.
And I think you can speak to that better than I can as far as the eligibility, but as I understand it, because I'm working with guys that have other than honorable discharges that are in the Veterans Treatment Court. But again, every Veterans Treatment Court is different.
It's run differently.
I mean, you could have, each one of us could be in a vet, and they're all different.
Yeah, depending on the county, right?
Agreed.
And depending on the judge, you were saying.
That is correct. But talking about eligibility, like Ron was saying, if you do have a discharge other than an honorable, still seek this out. Don't prevent yourself from gaining access to any benefit by making an assumption.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we're clear about that.
I mean, that's the message of this show for almost every benefit out there, right? Is that we're veterans on the show, and we understand that folks are constantly ruling themselves out preemptively. And what I like to tell people is let someone else give you the no, right? So that's a really good point.
Great.
And I think a really important part of this is called Veterans Treatment Court. So I got to ask you, you mentioned, some drug and alcohol programs, but what's the treatment part of the program?
Yes.
Really good question. So participants in our county, we know every county is a little different. There will be a VA contact, a Veteran Justice Outreach Coordinator. And let me not say each. I will say specifically for Contra Costa County, we work with a Veteran Justice Outreach Coordinator. And this position, this person, they have a lot of interaction with the veterans. So if say the veteran has a DUI, you may be required to participate in some alcohol abuse courses or substance abuse courses. That may be part of what you are required to do with your participation in Veterans Treatment Court.
Okay.
It's creating a treatment plan. You have a person that's working with you, they look at the circumstances of what you're there for and what treatment plan that you work with them on and you agree on, and they put that in place, and it becomes that's your map, how to fix this.
What's the timeline for that treatment plan? Does it vary?
I would say it varies. I don't want to speak for Contra Costa County, and I don't want to speak for San Francisco or Vallejo or anywhere else because they're all different. But they do have a start and a finish. The one I'm involved with, they have 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You graduate and you're on your way. It could take 18 months to get through that, depending on you, how serious and committed you are, and what you bring as far as showing them that you're serious about finishing the treatment plan. And you participate in it. It's not someone dictating to you, this is what you're going to do. They sit and they talk with you and say, will this help you? This could help you, blah, blah, blah. It works out.
And similarly in Contra Costa County, you will participate in the appropriate treatment. And so that's outlined. That may be the Veteran Justice Outreach Coordinator in collaboration with your public defender or your private attorney. The district attorney's office may have some say-so in what type of treatment they'd like to see you have as part of the rehabilitative process that is Veterans Treatment Court. So it's a case-by-case basis. And those determinations are made, when you begin participating in the program. So when you're assigned a probation officer, the district attorney's reviewing it with you and the charges with you and the public defender, the judge is there. So it's a collaborative effort. There are multiple people giving input into this process and what treatment would look best and best serve the veteran.
Are treatment plans always successful?
No. My experience is no, they aren't always successful. The biggest hurdle I've seen is urinalysis tests. You got to bring them clean all the time. And for the guys that are really stretching out their stay, it's because they'll go clean for 3 months, have one bad one, that sets them back 2 months, and it just becomes a...
What happens when the treatment plan is not successful?
So some of that is up to the court. Well, I won't say some of it. In all of this, the judge who's overseeing the court has the say-so. And so everyone else is giving their input, they're advocating for the veteran, the district attorney's office is advocating for the public and the people, so everyone's talking and they're advocating, representing their particular part in this process.
And I know you talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but what happens when the treatment plan is successful? What does a graduation or a finalization look like for the veteran and then moving forward?
Again, it's very individualistic. What I saw is the judge, everyone there, it's actually a warm embrace. It's a different reception from a prosecutor that you would normally get. A challenge coin is often given. Some people that have graduated the program before offer some words of commitment and completion and reminding you of who you were when you raised your hand.
So there is like a formal graduation policy. I'm sorry, I'm asking all the questions here. I'm just getting really
I don't know how formal it is, but yes, there's something that takes place. I've often seen the judge give books to the guys that he believes that they would benefit from, which I've never seen before. It's less of this authority figure raining down on you, and it's more of a human being offering you a congratulatory response for something well done.
Yeah.
And it does look different in every county. So as veterans progress through the program and they phase up, you mentioned the different phases, you get gift cards.
Yes.
And so there's an opportunity to, there's a intentional moment taken to acknowledge the progress the veterans are making. And at the completion of the program, the judge takes a moment and it's one of those moments where everyone in the audience is really dialed in. The other veterans, sometimes family members accompanying those veterans, everyone gets to see this veteran graduate. And there is an opportunity for the district attorney and for the public defender to give kudos and to encourage the other veterans who are still in the midst of the program. This is what completion looks like. So you get your gift card, you get the attaboys, but you also get the satisfaction of you completed this. You had to do it. You had to show up every month. You had to show up when you were required to be wherever it was that you had to go. You had to do that, very similarly to how we are told what to do and where to be in the military. And successful completion of that looks similar to what it did in the military. You kind of pat yourself on the back. I took care of the business that I needed to take care of, and now let's move on with the plan of the day or the next phase of your life. So graduation is always nice. You get a certificate and some encouragement and an opportunity to encourage the other veterans who are still in the program.
And most importantly, your record gets expunged for that incident.
Absolutely.
And it's humanizing because I've never, since I've been involved with the justice system, I've never had an opportunity to see a prosecutor hug a defendant. And I see that in this process. It's not the judge, the prosecutor, your lawyer. It's more of a community working together.
Wow.
And it's inspiring.
Yeah.
And it inspires the people that are just getting into the court. Oh, hey, that can be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a wonderful thing. It really is.
And speaking of the community part, does the veterans' family play any part of this?
They can. In my experience, they can. They're there for the graduation. I've seen several guys bringing their kids and to show their kids, look, yeah, I made a poor choice and I corrected it through hard work. And I've seen several kids there crying, seeing their parent fixing a misstep.
Right.
I hate to characterize it as something other than a poor choice. Luckily, it wasn't a choice that was too impactful on too many people, but course corrected, and this is what happens when you course correct. Good things.
That's got to be an amazing experience to witness.
It is. It really is.
It definitely is. And families play a part in accountability, right? I remember being in the Marine Corps and an accountability partner, another NCO to make sure I'm staying on top of what I'm staying on top of, and the families come. If the veteran's in the program, it's minimally 18 months. It's very often that we'll see on the second Friday spouses showing up with the veterans to offer that encouragement. And sometimes you'll see the judge speak directly to spouses, to family members, to thank them for participating, because we know getting through the program, you only spend a few minutes once a month in the court. You go to your classes, but the rest of the time you're going to work, you're out living life. And the support from your family to help keep you honest so that we're not repeating any urinalysis and things of that nature. The family can be a big part in the successful completion of the program, accountability, but also just tacit, just nice support. Encouraging the veterans. We know this is difficult. We're here with you when it's difficult. We'll continue to support you. Veterans get that. The Veteran Justice Outreach Coordinator, the public defender, the attorney, but someone at home. They got to look at you every day to say, no, you're not drinking. No, you're not going to do these other things that you have committed to not doing as part of your participation in Veterans Treatment Court.
Yeah, well, we all know from experience how important the support system is and how big of a role that family plays in that. I wanted to just ask a clarifying question about expungement, because you're right, Ron, that can be life-changing. Is it automatic? Is it a process that after you graduate from Veterans Treatment Court, you still have to, maybe file some paperwork?
The short answer from what I've seen is it goes on the record. You're graduating that day. The judge talks to you beforehand, and then they go on the record, whatever you are, item 18, so-and-so, and you completed the program. Congratulations. Enter into the record. This crime is expunged, or the terminology, and it's sealed right there.
Wow. And how important is that for the veteran moving forward with, or wanting to move forward with their life?
I think it's very important. Again, it could affect a job placement. It could affect, even nowadays with housing, they do pretty in-depth checks on everything. Social media, everything's out there. It's important to address it, and if it can be made to go away because you did the work to make it go away, I think that's appropriate also.
And is it everyone who goes through veterans treatment is eligible for the expungement, or only if it's part of that treatment plan?
So it's not everyone.
Okay.
I will say that it's likely most.
Okay.
But in the participation handbook, it very clearly states in bold underlined print, may. So it's not everyone. My observation is that it is most. If you successfully complete Veterans Treatment Court, that they will remove the charges. I'm not sure on the technical legal term for that, but yes, it is something that the veterans are aware of at graduation and throughout the process through other veterans who are graduating ahead of them, that your record will be clean, removed, expunged, other words synonymous with like it was never there.
Etch a sketch.
And just really quick, is it a one and done program? Are you able to use it again if you complete the program, or?
That's interesting. We were talking earlier about that, and if it's hypothetically using someone with a DUI. You have a DUI, you go through the program, you complete the program, you graduate the program. 3 months later, you come back with another DUI.
Could you participate? The answer is maybe. You should, as we've been encouraging this entire episode, you should get together with your public defender, your attorney, and file again. You should try.
And having said that, I think as the veteran, it's important to not take advantage of something. This isn't a get out of jail free every time you screw up.
Right.
You are a veteran. By virtue of that, you're afforded this opportunity, this time, to take care of it in this way that'll help you. Don't think you're going to do this every time.
Right.
Of course.
And I've seen guys do that. And sadly, they don't get into the court. They go to prison.
Right.
Where maybe they need to take it a little more serious.
And I'm sure through both of your experiences that scenario is more the exception rather than the rule. I mean, what you've shared with me is I understand that most folks participating in this program are doing so in the hopes of success. And I love what you said, which is if you went through boot camp, if you went through the military, you can go through this. So thank you, Ron and James, for being with us here today. Please remember that as a veteran, you may have options that others don't if you find yourself in the court system. We've hoped that you enjoyed our show today, and here are some resources if you want to learn more or reach out. For help with any veteran service or benefit, a county veteran service officer is a great place to start. Find one near you at nacvso.org. To learn more about the Contra Costa Veterans Treatment Court, go to contracosta.courts.ca.gov and search for Collaborative Justice Courts. To rewatch today's episode, check back on our homepage later this week or check your cable provider's schedule for rebroadcast times. You can also rewatch this episode and many others on our YouTube channel, Veterans Voices of Contra Costa, so be sure to subscribe. Scan the QR code or follow the link to find us on all of our social media channels. Our next show will air on Wednesday, February 11th at noon. Veterans Voices will be celebrating Black History Month, and you won't want to miss it. To all of our veterans and their families, thank you for serving. And to all of you who tuned in, thanks for watching and have a great day.